Hi, good morning everyone. We're live in Suzhou, Zhejiang province in China. And my name is Andy and I'm going to give you a factory tour of the Everich production and the Everich factory here. So you can see I'm standing in the middle of the production. We're right in the beginning parts of the production. You can take a look. Behind me are a lot of steel pipes that are going to be molded into these water bottles. So if you ever wondered how you get these water bottles, I'm going to show you. We're going to walk through the entire production from the very beginning of bending the metal into steel pipes all the way to the coating of these bottles, and then take a look at all the quality controls that Everich implements to make sure that the bottles are delivered to your clients, your customers are done at the highest level. All right, so welcome. For those in the US, good evening, and it's a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. So first I'm going to start off by showing you the steel. I'm going to pass this to my team here. Whoop. So they come in rolls of steel like this, and underneath is rolls of steel like this. There are different grades. This particular one is a grade 304 steel, very high level steel. You can choose different grades. There's grades 201, 316 as well. When you get into 316, you're looking at a medical grade steel. 306 is one of the more popular steels, very durable. The rust level, it takes very hard for it to rust. So this is what a lot of clients want to use. You can also have different thickness of the steel. So different millimeters, and you can change the thickness of both walls of the bottles. Okay, so you start with these rolls of steel, and then what they're going to do is go here, and this process is going to bend these rolls of steel into pipes. So you're going to bend the rolls of pipes into type. Let's keep on walking. And we're going to bend these rolls of steel into the pipe like this. And once the pipes are bent, they come out here, they get cut. Right? And then they get transferred over to here. And these are big rods of steel right now, but they're going to get cut into smaller pieces. So they're large rods. So I'm going to show you something quickly. You're going to move back. There are a lot of quality controls along the whole process. So these rods have some defects. So the quality control will note that, and they will put them away. The ones that have these black sleeves on top, these are the good quality ones, have all the cutting and all the processing are done right. So these will be recycled, they'll be chopped down, melted, and then recycled and reused again in the future. So the ones that pass the first quality control will move along over here where they get chopped. They're going to get cut down into a smaller size. And you can see he's cutting down the rods into smaller sizes. Each rod that he's cutting down will make 2 bottles later on. So that's the process. So in the next part of the production we're going to look at, these rods are going to be molded into specific bottle shapes. And we're going to walk over to that production line right now, and we're going to see how it's made. So we're in one part of the entire facility. This factory is 62,000 square meters. It's massive. And yeah, it'll take us about 5 minutes to walk. So let's walk over. Can you pass me? All right, so we're gonna walk back to the main area of our tour. So this is the first section. The next section we're going to go to is we're going to show you a little bit of the quality control, the head office, and then the facilities where they begin to mold these bottles into what your customers would buy, what people would use. Just watch your step, watch your step. Yep. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're going to go this way. All right, so the first part of this, can you hold this for me for a second? So this is a very vital part of the tour, actually. So in this section is where the molds for your bottles are made. So here, customers can create your own molds, and they customize molds. They look like this. These are molds for different water bottles, different products that Everich produces, and you can customize how your bottle will look, what shape it will have in the end of the day. And it starts by creating one of these molds. So you work with the Everich team to develop these molds, and these molds are, you can see, made out of metal. They're super durable, and they stay at the Everich facility as long as you want them here. So every time you want to create a new bottle, you just pull the mold out and get it onto the production line, and you can create your new mold. Everich also has their own standard molds with their own standard bottles that you can use. And obviously, if a mold is designed for another company, you are not allowed to use that. And there's very strict privacy rights around those things, because that's they take the privacy considerations very highly. So these molds are very heavy. They take about a month to develop, and the engineers here, the guys that develop these molds, have a lot of experience. So you're wondering, why create these molds? Why not use molds from other factories? Well, you don't want to bring molds from other factories to this factory in particular every time you create a new design, because that's a lot of work. You can do that. If you want to bring in a mold from another factory, then you would have to ask the Everich team to go to the factory to make sure that the molds are of high quality. Because if the molds are not good quality and they're not up to the standards of Everich, they may not work in the production line and then create a whole bunch of problems later on. So from Everich's point of view, it's better to create the molds in-house here rather than create the mold somewhere else and then bring it here. And it's also a big advantage to create the molds within the Everich ecosystem, because the designers that are designing this mold in Hangzhou at Everich's headquarters work very closely with the guys that develop the molds with their hands and the machinery. So they know how to deal with each other. If you're going to use another company to design a mold, and then Everich uses that mold, that communication might have some issues. So, you know, a lot of factories, because they can't develop their own molds, they have to outsource the mold design process. And that creates a lot of problems, because then they will have to work with a third party, the mold designers, to fit into their production. Whereas with Everich, everything is done together. And that allows for a more seamless production of the molds. So you can see right here, he's tooling, and he's starting to shape the mold. It's a very, very precise. It requires a lot of precision, and then the equipment here, you can see all of this is for creating the molds. So this is one of the most vital parts of the whole design process. So if you want to have that custom design that really stands out, you want to have that custom design that you want to have the privacy, you know, Everich can do that all in one shop, and it's highly recommended to do that. So this is further on of the mold designing process. You can see machine after machine. They're just kind of shaping the molds. It's all automated. And you can see they're putting the molds together. So it's a very delicate process. And you can see why, if you use a factory that doesn't create their own molds and you outsource the molds, it could become a problem for that factory, because they don't have that communication between the designers of the mold and then the factory that's actually using the mold in the production process. So this is a very important piece of the whole production of water bottles and this type of products. So make sure you put that investment into this process, and look for a company like Everich who can do it all in-house. Okay, so now we're going to walk back to the headquarters, the main office, main desk, and we're going to talk a little bit about Everich, because we got some time here. So Everich was founded in 2000 by Michael Yao, who is the founder of the company. And this facility that we're in right now is in a city called Chuzhou. It's in Zhejiang province, about an hour on the high-speed train from Hangzhou, which is about 2 hours from Shanghai on the train, or another hour from Shanghai on the train. So about 2 hours south of Shanghai on the high-speed train. And Michael grew up in this city. So when he decided where to choose a production, where to choose his factory, he decided to put it in his hometown to help the local economy, which is a very stand-up move for him, I think. And it's done well. The people here love the environment. It feels like a very tight-knit community. Everyone kind of works together, and the people here, when they come here to work, they stay. There's not much turnover from what I hear. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about Everich. And Tevin, can I grab these? Thank you. Okay, so there are a couple of things I want to talk about that really sets Everich apart. So the first is this product development. So the product development is a key part, obviously, in designing your water bottle or your other drinkware products. So if your design team has an idea, it can just be a simple sketch, right? And then Everich has an in-house design team, which they can design products around just a simple sketch. So 10 in-house designers from the US, designers from the UK. They've won numerous awards, Red Dot, etc. So it goes from design concept to drawing to prototype and then to product. So this whole process can be done within the Everich team. Secondly, there's a strong team here. They've been in the industry for 20 years. And, you know, if you are looking for ideas, the next big trend in drinkware products, they work with 60% of drinkware sellers on Amazon. So they have a good idea of the big trends that are going on. They have a good idea of what's selling, what's hot online. You know, with selling things on the web these days and e-commerce, trends change very quickly. So these guys understand that. They see the trends coming in, they see the orders coming in, and they can give your team recommendations on what product to make that will be the next hot product to sell online. Thirdly, it's quality control. Everich has passed numerous audits, including the 9001, ISO 9001, audits from various big name manufacturers. So they know the ins and outs. They have very strict quality control, and we'll see some of that later on in the next phase of our tour here. And, you know, they keep quality control very high because that's the way that they bring business back, and business does come back with them. They also have numerous patents, China design patents, European patents, Japan patents, the States, and in Canada. So if thinking about IP, they are very protective of your IPs, your privacy of your designs. And lastly, the company has been doing business in this industry for 20 years. They started off as a trading company, and then they created their own facilities to produce these products. And over those 20 years, they know the ins and outs of this industry. So for companies that for people that need help, if you're looking for some assistance, logistics, all the way to getting the product to the final consumers, you know, their team will help you along the way, and they're set up to help you along the way. So now we're approaching the office. Another quick fact. So this facility here is 62,000 square meters. They employ 910 staff that work here. They have a new robotic production line that we'll take a look at very soon. And this production line is incredible. So in China, there's a lot of factories, as you know. But the cool thing about it, a lot of these factories are upgrading their capabilities. And one of the ways that's being done is through robotics. So you'll be amazed at how this robotics will look like in coming up. some of the key benefits of the robotics is that you don't have to rest. The robots can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They maybe go down for a little bit of maintenance, but for the most part, no, they're producing products nonstop. And so if you're looking for a big order and you need a big order to be completed in time, the robots will not let you down. Okay, so we're now at the reception desk of the head office. You can see. So their production facility, the factory here is called Kingback. And this is where all the bottles are made. So we're going to walk into the quality control area of the building right now, and we're going to take a look quickly at some of the machinery that they use to do the quality control. All right, so in here, there's a lot of different machines for very different purposes. This one here is to put your packaging, your box, where everything is packed up, and it shakes and kind of simulates the movement of your product in trucks on freight, and to make sure that the bottles don't scratch, don't break, etc., etc. This is a drop test where the bottles will be dropped at different heights, and you see if it gets dented, and if it does, then it might not meet up to the quality that is promised. So those will be remade. Here is this machine here attaches to the lid, and then it pulls the lid from the bottle, something like this, right? And then it shows that the lid does not pop off. So that's why it's testing. This machine here is a crush test. So these two kind of work in tandem. They see the durability of the bottle. So they crush it, see does it snap or does it not. So everything gets tested through these machines. And then this is a printing life test. You can see they're testing the paint with a pencil, and they'll scratch it and see if the paint on the bottle will come off or not. So testing the durability, they also use like knives and such to make sure that the coating and the painting doesn't come off and is super durable. This is a color assessment to make sure that the colors match with the colors that you intended it to be. This is just a microwave for eating food, not for testing. This machine here is a salt spray tester. And the salt spray tester is a very important piece because a lot of times we use these water bottles outside. We use it by the beach and such, right? So we want to make sure that the bottles don't rust. And this is the purpose of this salt tester. So they'll put the bottle in here, turn on the machine, turn on the salt, and see if it rusts. And that's the purpose of that test. Then we got some very basic things. Your household freezer, you put it in. Is there any problems when you try to freeze it? And then a dishwasher, because, that's how you wash your bottle. So you put it in the dishwasher, see if the painting comes off, see if any of the paint chips, see if there's any problems with the metal. So every time a product is created, it goes through this test to make sure that everything is good to go. So, and then one more, and this is the humidity and temperature tester.
This one is for testing, simulates the situation in the container, because sometimes it's transferred by sea, the container temperature
gets very, very hot. Yeah, so if you're in the ocean, think about it, like the sun is beaming down, everyone is in metal containers, the temperature can get really hot, very humid because you're in the middle of the ocean. So this is testing that to make sure the bottles don't rust, don't have any issues. So before the products are moved from this factory to your customers, everything is tested along the way to make sure there's no problems. So you can be assured that what you get and what your customers get is top notch. So now we're going to move away. These are some of the boardrooms. They have a lot of meetings in these spaces. We're going to move to one of the cool sections of the factory. I thought it was one of the coolest, and that's where the robots are. So let's go take a look. It's just going to be right behind here. Watch out, cameraman. Don't trip over the stairs. All right. So you can see there's this building number 11, number 10, number 9. It's a gigantic factory. They produce 20 million pieces, 20 million products in 1 year in this factory. 20 million. You're looking at around 5,000 bottles, just 5,000 water bottles alone every single day. It's an amazing production. So let's see how it's all done. All right. So earlier on, we were at making the pipes. So I'll show you what the pipes look like. So over here, these were the pipes that we saw earlier. They are cut into this shape. Each pipe can make 2 water bottles, right? So they're going to take this pipe and they're going to put it into one of the water molding machines, right? So let's walk over there. So in here, you can see, they take that pipe and then the customer's mold is in this machine now. So the mold that we were talking earlier is in this machine now. This employee is putting the pipe in here, and then the water expands the pipe into the shape that it needs to be. All right, so after that's done, it's going to be transferred over to here, where it's picked up by a robot. The robot will then cut the pipe in half at the exact precise distance. You can see the red dot, how precise this is. And as we move along, each robot has a different task to mold, to cut, to get the water bottle into the exact shape that it needs to be. So let's slowly can see. Right, so even though we're using robots here to do the cutting, the shaping, we still have a person at the end of this line making sure the quality of the robot's work is perfect. So she's inspecting each bottle. Now this is the outer frame of the bottle. So she's inspecting that right now, right? And then it moves to the next line. And here is where the outer layer of a double layer water bottle is done. So this robot is adding the second layer on top. Now they're polishing the mouthpiece. And again, quality control comes in to make sure that everything is up to standard. All automated. Again, this area can produce 5,000 bottles in a single day. We have these machines back here. These are vacuuming machines. They essentially are hot air chambers that sucks out the air in between the 2 layers, the inner and the outer layer of the water bottle. And this creates the vacuum that allows a very high level of insulation. Right? That's how these bottles are made. So again, take a look. Very advanced. Before this, everything was done by hand. And when you do it by hand, there's a lot more chances for defects, mistakes. With robots, they can work 24/7. They do everything exactly the way it needs to be. So the number of problems, the number of defected bottles has dropped a lot. And the production can go up, the speed can go up much higher. So if you're looking at high volumes, the robots really come in handy. All right, so now we're going to move into the coating, and we're going to show how the spray painting of these bottles are done to give them various different coats. If you're wondering about the designs that you can have in terms of the coating, you can do spray painting, you can do powder painting. They have different benefits. spade painting generally is a little bit more inexpensive, and you know, you have a little more creativity when you're using spray painting. But when you're using the powder coating, you have a little bit more durable finish. So here is the spade painting. So this staff is just getting the bottles ready. They're polishing, getting it ready. And then on your left here, take a look inside. Again, we're using robots to spray paint each and every bottle. So not only are the bottles spray painted and becoming more accurately spray painted, because if you imagine a human doing it, sometimes one bottle will be spray painted a little bit differently from another bottle. But if you have robots doing it, everything is a lot more consistent. So one bottle and the other bottle will be very much alike. And then the other great thing about this is, well, you don't want to be in this room. You know, this is spray painting is lots of fumes, lots of chemicals, so the robots are in there. So it takes away the human element of that. So it's much better for the employees when the robots are doing the spray painting. All right, so that is spray painting. As I said earlier, there's another method of putting the coat on. It's called powder painting, and the powder spray allows for a more durable finish. I had two water bottles at the beginning. One was from a powder finish, and that's where we're going to go next. We're going to go to the powder room, and we're going to follow these guys here, and then we're going to go there and see how the powder part is done. Let's bear with me for a little bit. We'll just walk there a little bit. So the factory usually goes on lunch at 11 o'clock in China time today. Today they made an exception for us, and they're working a little bit extra, so show your appreciation for them waiting to get a little bit of lunch and a little bit later than normal today. So this is injection molding. We'll come back here later on. But first we're going to go upstairs here and visit their powder coating room. So I was here for a tour before, just to get ready for this live stream, and really this facility blew me away. The robots, something I've never seen, and you think the water bottle, almost, very simple products, but the design from the molds to the robots, very intricate processes, and the whole key is to make everything have low defects, right? And if you can do that, the customers are more happy, everyone's happy. So you can see on the left here, these are the bottles that have been polished, and now they're going in for the spray paint. Okay, so let's go see how the powder spray works. Again, everything is done by robots, giving the product a very, very durable finish. I'll show you another bottle later on, once we get there, of what the final product will look like in a bit. All right, so we're going to exit here, and they come off. So this line is doing a double layer powder painting. So you can see the bottles here have a double layer on them. So they sprayed on half of it, and then sprayed on top another half, giving it a very nice design feature. And the hooks are all customized for each bottle design. So if you have a customized bottle design, you can create the hook at the Ecovac production, and then use it for your specific bottles. So like all of these are all customized for different designs, different mouthpieces. You have the standard mouth, the wide mouth, right? And this is the powder room finish. You can see over here you have the standard black. It comes out in a really nice matte look. Right here you have coffee mugs. and then they get packed and sent away. So this is kind of, look, this is the matte finish of the powder. Very durable, doesn't scratch. You can drop it, the paint won't chip off. Very nice design, very nice look. So after this, we're going to take this and then we're going to put on the logo. We're going to etch it, or we're going to do paper transfer, or we're going to do apply a paper and then do a coating. So that's what it looks like. All right, so let's continue on. You can see these are all different hooks for all different bottles and manufacturers. All right, so we're going to go back downstairs where we get another section of the factory. So, you know, we're live right now. If you have any questions, there's a message box. I believe it's on my left side over here. Shoot us a message. Or if you want to contact the Everich team, Alibaba.com. Find their Everich store on Alibaba.com. And there you can submit questions, and the sales support team, the consultation team will come and will help you. So now this room is, you can look around the whole space. These are all laser engravers, right? Let me see if there's any in the machine right now. I think there's one over here. So if you look inside, they're laser etching the design. So it's a 360 degree etch. So you can see on the bottom it's rotating. So the bottle is rotating and then etching. This comes out very beautifully. You know, it's just etching off that powder layer, leaving that stainless steel finish at behind it. All right. Okay, so we're going to move on. So you can design, if you want to design the bottle, it can be wrapped 360 degree. You can send them the design, the mock-up, and then they'll make it. All right.
We are going to go to see the thermal test machine.
Okay. So here they're doing laser etching, a more automatic way, getting the products going. You can see the design. You don't want to get close to that, too close to that. That's laser etcher. This on this side is paper transfers. Okay. And over here, the products are getting ready to be shipped. They're cooled, drying off, packaged in bubble wrap, packaged, and ready to be sent off to your your fulfillment centers around the world. So we're slowly wrapping up, slowly getting to the end. We're going to show you a couple more things, including injection molding for the lids, because we haven't talked about that yet. And we're going to do a thermal testing for the double walled. So this thermal testing machine is very important. Most of the bottles that are being made here are the double walled water bottles, which has this great insulation capability. So we saw the machine that sucked out the air, creating the vacuum in the middle, and that allows for this insulation. And once you have the insulation, then the water bottles can cold water for 24 hours and hot water for 12 hours, right? So this is the machine that allows you to test that capability. So you put the machine on, it shoots up hot air up to 200 degrees Celsius, and then it will measure the temperature on the outside of the bottle. If the temperature on the outside of the bottle does not go up, meaning that the insulation is not working, then there's a problem. But if the temperature on the outside stays cool, that means the heat is not being transferred to the outside, meaning the insulation is working. If the insulation is not working, then the whole process, there's an error somewhere along the way and has to be redone, okay? So that is a vital piece of the quality control and it allows for that double layer insulation to work effectively. And obviously a lot of the customers, your customers, are buying these bottles for that insulation purpose, and that is one of the key tests to make sure that it's working properly. All right, so now we're going to go back downstairs, and we're going to be showing you how the lids for the water bottles are made. So for the lids, they can be made in metal, but most clients of Everich uses plastic lids. And in order to make a plastic lid, you have these plastic mold injections. And the plastic is imported from either the US or from Europe for the higher standard of plastic, because you're putting your mouth on the plastic, you want the top-notch plastic material, plastic quality. So the plastic powder is imported, and then it comes here, and you can see all these machines are plastic mold injection machines. And if you look over here, this is what it comes out like. So the machine produces 2 lids, and the staff is just cutting it off, checking it to see if it's right, and then it's made. And that's what you get. It's nice and warm right now. It just came out of the machine. Still hot. She's going to pull it out. You can take a look. And that's it. The lids that's how it's made. So lids can be customized however you would like. You can design them, or you can use the standard ones that Everich has already. So lids are a very important piece, and that's why this area here is massive. There's about 45 of these machines to keep up with the capacity to generate enough lids for all the water bottles. So, that's sometimes a part that may be overlooked. And you can see some of the molds are here for the lids as well. Again, when it comes to design and developing of these molds, you can work with the Everich team's in-house designing team. They have a very good working relationship, obviously communication channel with the production facility here in Suzhou. And then they work together very closely. They know how to work together, and you can properly create those molds to create these lids for your water bottles. So I think, Amy, we're wrapping up. What section do we have next? Right. We need to get this product out and to the consumer. So we're going to walk to the last area, which is the packaging. There are, I believe, 15 packaging lines here to make sure that they have the capacity to get your products that have been finished, have been gone through all the process that we talked about, into boxes, into containers, and then shipped out to your fulfillment centers. There was a question about, because of what's going on right now, are there any problems with the capacity of this factory? And obviously you can see things are moving along at full blast here. There's not slowing down at all. So Everich can get your bottles, the quantity that you need, produced and shipped out from whichever port is closest for you. So we're going to go back into the packaging, and you can see these are all products that are getting ready to be shipped. All right, watch your step. The cardboard boxes are very durable. You can take a look in the bit here. So we're in the packaging area now. The packaging, the boxes that your bottles are going to be in, you can customize the boxes and print the boxes, and the staff here will put them all together and then package it all together. So this is one of the production lines to get the bottles into your customized design boxes and ready to ship. Okay, lots of different areas around. You can take a look. All these boxes can be customized. And again, working with the design team to make it happen. Over here. Oh, this is the thermal testing machine that we talked about earlier. So this one is running. And you might be able to see a popular brand on here. You might recognize this brand. I certainly do. So they're big clients of Everich. Okay. So I think we're done, right? Front desk, yes. So that wraps up our tour. We're just going to slowly walk back to the front desk. Which way should we go? This way? So again, inquiries can be sent to the Everich team via the Alibaba.com Everich flagship store. You can send them a question. All the products are on their website. You can get a sense of what they make. If you want a sample, they're all free. Just get in touch with the sales team, ask them for a sample, and they'll ship it to us. If you want a process going, if you want for your next water bottle, talk to the consultancy team, talk to the account managers at Everich, and they can guide you to hundreds of millions of dollars of sales in a very short time after. So it's a amazing facility, it's an amazing factory. Thanks for taking the time to join me. If you have any questions, again, leave it in the message box. The team here will get back to you as soon as possible. And if you have a chance to come to Chuzhou, this is a beautiful city. There's amazing food here. We had a great time to eat here yesterday. It's a great place. So this is the facility. It's massive. And then I think that wraps up our tour, right? So thank you for joining us today. And the sales office is in Hangzhou. The headquarters in Hangzhou. The facilities of the factory is in Chuzhou here. And we're about 2 hours south of Shanghai on the high speed and about 1 hour south from Hangzhou on the high speed train. So that's the tour, guys. Thank you for joining us. And give a like, I guess, and subscribe to the Everich team up above. There's a subscribe button. You can press it, and you can see then join in for the next live stream. I know you guys can't be here right now because of what's going on, but thank you for joining the live, and I hope this was very informative for you. Bye for now.